All right, fourth graders, here is our problem set. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this question number one and notice that there are a bunch of problems that go with number one. All right, so we're gonna use first and foremost common sense. All right, and I'm gonna talk my way through these and you can follow along. Teachers, by all means, pause along the way to further explain anything or add your knowledge to any of these concepts as we go. So the problem here says, explain your thinking or use division to answer the following. So it says, this is a question right here. It says, is 2 a factor of 84? So basically what it's saying is, can I multiply a number by 2 to get 84? And if you discuss this and you say, well, 2, basically, can I multiply a number by 2? Basically, can I split 84 in half to get 2? And my answer here is, yeah, I can do that. And why? Why can I do that? So the answer is yes. It is a factor, okay? 84 is an even number. Period. 2 is a factor of every even number. Okay? If you didn't know that, well, now you do. 84 is an even number, so 2 is a factor of every even number, okay? All right, so if you remember, 2, the number 2 itself is the only prime number there is, because the only thing you can multiply is 1 times 2 to get that, all right? Now it says, is 2 a factor of 83? I'm going to say, is 2 a factor of 83? And no, it's not. Why? Why is it not? That's right. If you said that 83 is an odd number and there's no way 2 could be a factor of that, you're correct. So we're going to say no. 83 is an odd number. 2 is not a factor of odd numbers. Pretty cool. All right, we're off to a good start. Now let's take a look at C. Is 3 a factor of 84? Now, you might think to yourself right off the bat, well, no, 84 is an even number. There's no way 3 could be a factor of that. Well, we have to hold our horses here, okay? Because I do know that 3 times 4 is equal to 12, and 12 is an even number. So I think that I don't know here. I don't know right off the bat. The number 2, it's pretty easy. I can say, yeah, well, if it's an even number, 84, 2 is a factor of that. If it's an odd number, 2 can't be a factor of that, right? Get whole numbers. But with 3, I don't know. So we're going to have to test this one out. And the easiest way for me to test this out is to actually do a division problem. So we're going to set up a long division problem for this one, okay? So let's set it up right here. We got lots of room here. I'm going to say 84 divided by 2. Or 3, I'm sorry. Let's figure that out. So 3 fits into 8 how many times without going over? All right. 1, 3, 6, 9. Oh, gotta back off 1. It's gonna be 2 times. Only 2 times, because 2 times 3 is 6. Remember doing this? Now I'm gonna subtract and get 2, right? 2 is less than 3, right? That's good. And I knew that anyways. So now I'm gonna drop the 4 down and ask myself, does 3 fit into 24? If you said yes, you would be correct. 3 fits into 24 8 times. I know my multiplication facts pretty well here, so I know 3 times 8 is 24. So that fits in 8 times. So 8 times 3 is 24. I subtract that and I get 0. So look, there's no remainders here. So 84, or 3 is a factor of 84. Yes. It's going to write down yes. With a smiley face after it. Like that. How's that sound? All right, let's take a look at the next one. To D. Is 2 a factor of 92? What do you think? Yeah, if you were paying attention to the top 2 here, you would know that 92 is an even number. It ends in an even number, and 2 is a factor of every single even number. So I'm going to write yes. 92 is an even number. Period. Perfect, okay? Now we're moving on. I see this one. Is 6 a factor of 84? I don't know. I don't know right off the bat, okay? Now I'm sure I could figure this out in my head. I'm going to write it down just to make sure. I'm going to actually do some long division here. So I'm going to say 84 divided by 6. See how this works out for me, okay? So let's do it. 6 fits into 8. Just one time, right? Because we know 2 6s is 12, and that would be over 8, so there's no way it could be 2. So 1 times 6 is 6. I subtract, right? Just like I did up here, I get 2. Then I'm going to bring down my 4 and get 24 and say, does 6 fit into 24? It does. Exactly 4 times. So 4 times 6 is 24. I subtract, I get 0. Look at that. I have no remainders. 6 is a factor of 84. Yes. Smiley face. That. Cool, huh? All right. So the next one says, is 4 a factor of 92? I do know this because I just did some quick math in my head. But to be sure, I'm going to do some long division on this. Plus, it's good practice. So let's do that. See, 92 divided by 4. So I'm going to see if I can come up with a nice even round number here with no remainders. 4 fits into 9. 4, 8, 12. Oh, too much. Just 2 times. 2 times. No, I should use my other one here. I'll just change colors right now. 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. I get 1. Drop down my 2. Oh, yeah. 4 fits into 12 exactly 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. I subtract. I'll get 0 remainders right there. So it is. Yep. Yep. Some people spell yup. Y-E-P. Some people spell it Y-U-P. I spell both ways. All right. Is 5 a factor of 84? What do you think? Do we have to do a long division here? What do you think? You can have a discussion in class here and pause the video if you like. Well, I know this. I know that this is not. No. 5 is not a factor of 84. All factors, no, all multiples, sorry. I'm just going to cross that out. All multiples, or numbers, say that, numbers that have 5 as a factor end in a 0 or a 5. And guess what? 84 ends in a 4. There's no way 5 could be a factor of that. Just think about it. If you're counting by 5s, do you ever hit any other ending number other than a 0 and a 5, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, they all end in either 5 or 0. So 84 can't be it. Then the last one here I see is 8 a factor of 92. Got to do the old-fashioned method here of long division. So I'm going to say 92, and then I'm going to divide by 8. Okay? Let's figure it out, see what happens. 8 fits into this 9 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. I subtract. I get 1. Okay? Now I'm going to drop this 2, and 8 fits into 12. Not evenly, does it? We know 2 8s is 16, so it's just got to be 1 8. 1 times 8 is 8. Yeah, this is not going to fit in evenly. 12 minus 8 gives me 4. That's 11 remainder 4. So now when it has a remainder like this, It is not a factor. This is not, okay? So what we're going to do here is write down no, okay? All right. We take a look back at our work, and we want to make sure that we're proud of what we've done, right? We want to make sure that it's written neatly and that it's easy and fun to look at, okay? All right. Oh, this page is all banged up, so I'm going to have my extra sheet right here. Good. Now we're going to work on the associative property. I don't know if you remember that from our Kent statement. So here we go. It says, use the associative property to find more factors of 24 and 36. Let me show you how this works, okay? So it says 24 is equal to 12 times 2, all right? Okay, we know that. So it basically just cut it in half. It took this biggest one here. So now what we're going to do is, you see how the 2 remains the same. This 2 remains the same. So what we're going to do is take the 12 and split it into a factor times 3. So this 12, the 2 factors make 12 now. Yeah, that's right. 4 goes here. 4 times 3 is 12, okay? Now what we're going to do is take these 3 numbers, and see how the parentheses are around that? All right, you see how that works? What we're going to do is put the parentheses around over here, so this remains a 4, okay? See how that works? That's right, okay? And then what we do is we multiply these 2, you get 6. All right, there's another 4, good, see that? 4 times 6. And then 4 times 6 is 24, okay? So what we did here, let me explain to you. We started off with the 24. We split this, we made the factors 12 times 2, right? Then what we did was we split this 12 into a 4 and a 3, and we just kept that times 2. Then we switched the parentheses over to these 2, because you can do that in the associative property, and multiplied these 2 to get 6. Just 4 remained the same. There's another factor, right? And then I've got 4 times 6 is 24. So here are all my factors. 12, 4, 3, 2, right? Notice 4, 3, and 2 are all the same, so there's no new factors there. 6, and there's it. And we know that 1 and 24 obviously are the factors. Okay, so we found all the factors here, okay? Let's try 36. 36 is a number times 4. What number should go there? Let me zoom in on that a little bit here. Might have to use your multiplication chart for this. Or teachers pause and kind of do this together. Yeah, it's 9. 9 times 4. It's there. Good. So now we know that 9 and 4 are factors of 36. So we just found 2 factors. Okay. Now what we're going to do is split this 9 into a couple different numbers here. We're going to split this into a 3 times 3, right? Yep. That's cool, right? So now I've got 3 times 3 times 4. Then I'm going to switch all these parentheses over to this, and this remains the same, right? And then this remains the same, right? 3 times 12, because we just multiplied this 3 times 4 to get 12. And that's 36, just like that. Yeah. So we know 3 is a factor of 36. We know that 4 is a factor of 36. We know 12 is a factor of 36, right? There's also 6 times 36. There's a lot more here too. All right. All right. Let's move over here. See how this goes. In class, we use the associative property to show that when 6 is a factor, then 2 and 3 are factors. Okay? Because 6 is equal to 2 times 3. Use the fact that 8 equals 4 times 2 to show that 2 and 4 are factors of 56, 72, and 80. This is really confusing. Let me just kind of break this down to you, okay? We're going to do the first one, and I'm going to talk to you about this, all right? So let's take a look at 56 is equal to 8 times 7, okay? So what we're going to do here is we know that 56 is equal to 8 times 7. So if you were just given the number 56, I would ask you, what are some factors of 56? You would immediately say, well, it's 1 times 56. I'd say, you're right. You would say it's an even number, so it's 2 times another number, and we could figure that out. You might also say 8 times 7 because you're really good at your multiplication facts. And if that's the case, we could just say this right here gives it to us, so 8 times 7. So we're going to perform the associative property on this. We're going to take this 8 and split it into two numbers, two factors. And then we're going to just multiply it by that same number of 7, okay? And what 8 is, the factors are right here, 4 and 2, right? We know that, 4 times 2. So we know that 4 and 2 are also factors of 56, all right? We know that 8 is a factor of 56. So 4 and 2 must also be factors of 56. And that's what it's trying to tell us, okay? Now for this one, we're going to shift these parentheses over to the 2 and the 7. So we're going to go 4 times 2 times 7. And we're just going to shift these over like that. Okay, we're just going to move it over. Then we're going to bring this 4 down. We're going to multiply it by what this number is right here. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay? And I end up with 56. 4 times 14 is 56. Because watch this. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 4 is 16. 40 plus 16, that's right, 56. So we found that we use this fact right here, okay? Let's check out this one. All right, for this one, we're going to say 72 equals 8 times 9. I know that. So I'm going to split my 8 into a 4 times 2, just like here. Put that in parentheses, and I'm just going to multiply that by 9, okay? Then, so I know now that 4 and 2 are also factors of 72. That's it. Now I'm going to shift my parentheses over, so I'm going to write the same exact 3 numbers down. Shift them over like this, right? Then, I'm going to multiply what's in these two numbers, which is 18. So now I also know that 18 is a factor of 72, because 4 times 18 is 72. Check it out. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 8 is 32. 40 plus 32, that is 72, okay? If this seems a little radical, a little bit difficult for you, that's okay, all right? It's okay. You're just going to kind of listen and try your best here, okay? And by all means, teachers, you can pause and explain or do different examples of this. All right, so here's 80. Oh, I love that. 8 times 10, they gave us that one, right? So now we're going to use this 8 times 4 to figure out this 80, all right? So we're going to use the facts, same facts. So 80 is equal to 4 times 2, all right? We just change that into that. And we're just going to multiply that by 10. So guess what? 4 and 2 are also factors of 80. Then I'm going to switch this, same 3 numbers in a row, and just take the parentheses from here, and I'm going to group these two together, the 2 and the 10. Now I'm going to multiply that 2 times 10 to get 20. Just bring this 4 down. Look at that, 4 times 20. So 20 is a factor. Is equal to 80, all right? So you can see here, just by breaking this 8 down, we realize that 4 and 2 are factors of all these numbers as well, just like the question asked. Okay, and then the last one, and we're done, all right? The first statement is false, period, stop. Okay. So it's false. This one's not true. Okay. And explain why using words, pictures, or numbers. Okay. So it says, if a number has 2 and 4 as factors, then it has 8 as a factor. So this is false, it says, all right? It's going to write down false. If a number has 8 as a factor, then both 2 and 4 are factors. This is true. We just proved that up here. Okay? So how are we going to prove that the number 2 and 4 is factors, then 8 is factors as well? Okay? Let's choose a number that we know 2 and 4 can fit into. Okay? Let's choose the number, let's see, 28. Right? So if I choose the number 28, it's an even number, so you know 2 fits into it. I know 7 times 4 is 28. And I know for a fact 8 is not a factor of that. So we're going to use 28. So if I do 28 divided by 2, 2 fits into 2 one time, right? 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, I get 0. Good. Bring down my 8. 2 fits into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, I get 0. Good. See, that fits in. It's basically 28 divided by 2. It's split in half is 14. Now let's try 28 divided by 4. 4 fits into 2. It doesn't fit into 2. So we have to say, all right, we're just going to skip past that. We're going to make this 28. 4 fits into 28 how many times? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Fits in exactly 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. And I subtract, I get 0. Okay? So that fits in. So we know the 2 and the 4 are factors of 28. Now let's try it with 8. Okay? I'm going to say 28. How many times does 8 fit into 28? Okay, so 8 fits into 2. It can't fit into 2. All right, that's okay. So if it doesn't fit into this first number, I just add the second number. It says 8 fits into 28 how many times? Let's count by 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32. Fits in 3 times without going over. 3 times 8 is 24. I subtract, I get 4. See that? Remainder of 4. It doesn't fit. So this first sentence is false. So 28 has 2 and 4 as factors, not 8. All right? So basically what it works out to be here, kids, is understanding that if I know that 8 is a factor, I also know 2 and 4 is a factor. We figured that out. But it doesn't go in the reverse direction. If I know that 4 is a factor, I can't say, well, 8's definitely a factor because 2 4s is 8. It doesn't work that way. It only works if you go less, all right? So that's our lesson for today. I hope that you had some fun. I know there were some confusing parts here, but you know we're still working in the direction of challenging our brains and getting better and working on some concepts that we haven't visited in a while, okay? So you keep working hard, keep trying, you're going to do great, okay? So we'll see you tomorrow for math class. Good job today, kids.